mugs, blankets, placemats, towels. There are so many things that have repeat patterns on them that as an illustrator seems quite fun to do. So today I thought I would try and make my own for the very first time and show you how I did it completely for free. So yeah, repeat patterns, they're a fun little thing, something simple to do. You just make up your own design and then make sure it all fits together in a way that can be copy and pasted across a product. And when I discovered that the print on demand service that I use for my merch does some products like cushions and notebooks, things that would really benefit from having repeat patterns, I thought it'd be fun to do my own. And I'm gonna do them for a napkin because I'm in a living vegetable drawing kind of mood. So I thought it'd be fun to have a go at that. So I'm going to be doing all of my design work on my tablet, on my XP Pen Magic drawing pad. And the first thing that we need to do is set up a canvas that is square. Obviously, I'm going to go for 4000 by 4000 pixels and make sure that it has a DPI of at least 300. So it's going to be good for printing. Now for the actual creation of the design, it doesn't matter what you use. You can use whatever software you like. I'm using MediBang just because it's free and on here already. Just make sure that the design is going to be square and that you can make sure that your drawings are all concealed within it. Actually making them intersect is something we'll do later. Okay, so once I've got my square canvas set up, I need to start obviously drawing. And after drawing that artichoke the other day, which I'm going to include on this, I think, I'll just get rid of the text that I did with it. After drawing that for the Okey Pokey artichoke design, I think I'm going to include him because why do extra work? I've got him there, so may as well save myself some time. And then I'm just going to do some more vegetables, and I think I'm going to start with a mushroom because mushrooms are so much fun to draw. I genuinely love drawing them. And we're going to make sure that all these guys have eyes and mouths. Probably won't include noses because that just seems a bit, I don't know, once you add a nose to something like that, it becomes too human almost. Now, one of the big challenges for a repeat pattern like this is how much space to leave in between items. And realistically, you definitely could leave a lot of open space, maybe just add some dots here and there. For instance, if we look at this placemat I've got, oh, that was a bit noisy. If we look at this placemat I've got, it's all sausage dogs. And there are dots in between. That is all that fills up the space. Just to, I don't know what for actually. I think it'd be fine without, but I guess it'd be too much white almost. So I guess it just breaks it up a little bit. So having things in between your focal points will kind of help, I think. And with that in mind, I think I'm going to do some general splat shapes. I'm going to make it look as if though we spilled a condiment of some kind. And I think I'm going to make it ketchup. The main reason for that is because the vegetables that I think I want to do are mushroom, obviously, and I mean, just doing a white mushroom is a bit boring. Even if we were to do a chestnut mushroom and it was brownish, still a bit boring. I don't really like using brown. So we're going to go for a classic psilocybin mushroom, something you definitely should not be putting in your meals, with a red kind of top to it and white spots on it. I'm also going to be doing a broccoli, which is obviously green, a carrot, which is orange. We've got our artichoke that is green. And then we're going to go for a potato because I think it's really funny, the idea to give it loads of eyes, because obviously potatoes have eyes. And I know I just said about not using brown, but it's such a light, almost skin tone version of brown that I really don't mind using it. So with that in mind, we've got a lot of oranges and greens and a bit of red because I'm going to put a tomato on here as well. So I think the best colour for this sauce to be is probably red. It's going to look quite nice alongside these other colours. However, just doing the sauce everywhere might get a bit messy. I mean, I want this to look messy. I want it to look though there's been murders in the kitchen. I think that's quite a funny idea. But just to help break it up a little bit, I'm going to do a couple little crumbs around the broccoli, I think, as if though some of the leaf bits have fallen off. I'm also going to add a singular piece of sweet corn and then a few different peas. And I think the peas won't have any mouths and their eyes will be looking a bit crazy. Now for adding colour to these drawings, I'm going to do it exactly how I normally apply my colour. And that is to first do flats to blocking the main colours that I want. So for example, the broccoli, we're going to be doing a shade of green for all of the leafy areas and then a really pale shade of green for the stalk. And then afterwards we'll come in to do our shadows, and for that I'm just going to use a really nice deep purple and just draw in where I want shadows. I'm not bothering about a soft edge or anything. We're going to have a nice hard edge, and then we're going to drop the opacity so that the purple is transparent. You can see the color underneath it whilst tinting it with the purple that we just put down. This is how I always do my colors, basically, because I love to add color rather than just making something darker, kind of change it a little bit. I think it's quite interesting. I also want to make sure that we've got a range of emotions with these vegetables. I don't want them to all be looking the same. So we've got the artichoke that looks a bit kind of just fed up a little bit, I think, from the t-shirt design that we did recently. And I'm also going to make the mushroom look really excited because, I don't know, mushrooms feel excitable to me. I think I'm going to make the carrot dead. I want its tongue hanging out and have cross eyes and stuff. I think that would be quite funny. Given that we're doing so much tomato ketchup everywhere, I think the tomato should look a little bit afraid. Not too much, but just a little bit worried, you know? Like, oh, where's all of this tomato blood come from? Obviously, because the potato has so many eyes, I think they're all going to be looking in different directions and give it two little buck teeth to make this thing look like it's some kind of mutant. I mean, if it's got that many eyes, it's going to look like a mutant anyway. So to really play into that with the like dappled skin as well, I think that's a good idea. And as we know, broccoli is one of those vegetables that children in particular really struggle with. So yeah, we're going to do the broccoli looking as if that's about to throw up. So that could be hinting at not many people like broccoli, but it's also, oh my goodness, look at this murder scene we're in. There is something so ridiculous about this. I'm really enjoying drawing these. This is quite fun. Now it's worth noting you could do this with basically anything you want. It doesn't have to be individual, fully rendered drawings like this. You could just do shapes that run off the side of the page, because then when you repeat the pattern later, you can force them to intersect. So you could, if you are smart enough to do that, but I'm not very smart and I really enjoy drawing stupid things. So that's why I'm doing it this way. When you're happy with your design, I would advise, it's not essential, but I would advise that you save it with a transparent background, just so that it can be applied to anything you want later. If you want to just give it a green background or something, go for it. It's not a problem at all. Now that we've got our illustration done, it's time to actually make it into a repeat pattern. And for that, I'm going to use Canva, which is a free design software that is hosted on the web. So it's not going to take up any storage on your computer or anything, which is excellent. And I'm going to open up a custom sized, and I'm going to make sure that it's the same dimensions as what I've just drawn on. So 4000 by 4000 pixels. And then I'm going to open it up like so. I'm going to go over to elements and then go down to grid. Now, what you can see here is a selection of frames, kind of, that go together, and then you can insert whatever images you like into these shapes. So I'm going to go for a half and half split and put my drawings in them and make sure that we pull them to the furthest edge on either side. So what I mean by that is the piece that goes on the right will be pulled as far to the right as it can. The pieces on the left will be pulled as far to the left as I can. When inserting this grid, it's important that you go to the spacing bit and reduce the spacing to 0 so that this white line in between the two panels is not there, so that they can just kind of go together seamlessly. So that theoretically would work as a repeat pattern, but I want to take it a step further and not have it only be side by side placeable, because now if I were to make a row of these panels, they would go together well. But we want to be able to do a row and columns so that you've got it everywhere basically. And to do that, we are going to download what we've just made and then open another 4000 by 4000 canvas. And we are going to place the grid that is vertical instead, or horizontal, sorry. Basically, whatever grid you just placed, do the opposite version of it. And now that we've got that, we can upload the design that we just made on Canva. And similarly to how we pulled it to the furthest edge before, we're going to do the exact same here by pulling the bottom one to the bottom and the top one to the top. And now this pattern will repeat in 4 different directions. So if we were to lay them all out, we could have them side by side and on top of each other. And this is the basics of how a repeat pattern works. But we want to take it a step further As you can see, because of where at the edges of the drawing that I did originally, there was a little bit of space. It has created some little pockets of open air almost in this design. So what I'm going to do is re-download what we've just done and put it into my original drawing software and just fill those gaps. And I think I'm just going to do that with some more source and just make it look as if though it's part of the original design. And then when I'm done with that, we are actually finished with our repeat pattern and we can see how it looks on some products. As I said, I wanted to put this on some napkins because I think it's absolutely hilarious, the idea of having the in-laws over or celebrating a fancy anniversary, getting your finest china out and then using these ridiculous napkins. So on fourth wall, I'm literally just going to apply this design and then go up to the repeat pattern area and make sure that it's done in a way that works with our design. And there we go. I think it looks pretty damn cool. It looks ridiculous. Let's have a look at the renderings of it. Oh wow, these previews are great. Look, they've even got really fancy cutlery and stuff all wrapped up. Okay, this is going straight on my website. I don't expect anyone to buy this, but if anyone does, I love the idea of this being sat on someone's table. So yeah, there you go. That is a nice, easy way of making your own patterns. Just as a recap, you design the initial design however you want to. Just make sure that it's in an equal-sided square. Then you can go and use Canva and upload it there. Make sure that your canvas is the same size as what you just did the drawing on. And then using grids, you can make a repeat pattern. It's really easy to do. It's actually quite fun to do. It only took me a couple hours to do this. And that literally just came from the coloring time. I don't think it would have taken that long if you're using pre-drawn images, for example. So I hope you learned something from this. And if you did, go and do it yourself. And yeah, bye-bye.